Hi, my name is John. I'm an amateur woodworker. I've been playing around woodworking for probably 40 years now. Started off with just basically hand tools, but now I've got a collection of stuff here in the garage. And I just had the idea a few minutes ago that I'm in the middle of a project, and I thought I would go ahead and video it, just post it up on Instagram and see if it's useful to anybody. But what I'm doing is I'm making a reproduction of a Stickley 913 dresser, and the plan comes from a book. This is the book, and in there is the plan for a Stickley dresser. So it looks pretty simple. I've studied the plans and the cut sheet and everything. It's not complete in my estimation, but I'm gonna go ahead and go through some of the steps here. Now, I've already done a lot of things, so I've cut a lot of rough, there's the corner posts and a lot of the pieces. So they're all cut roughly. They're not to exact dimensions yet. So what I'm working on now is the sides, and I was going to use some veneer. Can you see that there? Some veneer that I had purchased. And then I got to thinking, well, I'll just take some of the scrap wood that I have left over, and I'm going to just cut it through on the bandsaw and kind of match it. So I've got one here already that I made up. So this is for the longer piece of the sides. Now I'm going to cut the shorter piece. So I'm going to start, and I'll just end this video here. Then I'll start another one with each of the steps going forward. And if I'm motivated, I'll actually finish this, and you'll see all the things I've done, and we'll wind up with a complete Stickley 913 reproduction. So here's the cut sheet. So I've got pretty much everything cut here. There's a few more things I have to do. I haven't done the dividers between the drawers yet, so I'll get to that in a little while. But what I'm going to do, what I'm working on right now, is I want to complete the sides first. I'm going to do the sides, then I'm going to attach the legs to the sides, and then I'll build the dividers between the dividers that go between the drawers and kind of put the carcass together. And then after that, I'll do the drawers. So anyway, so I've just, what you saw on the floor here is basically this piece here. So now I'm going to cut this piece. So what I'm going to do is get a piece of 1 inch. That's about 8 inches wide. It needs to be about 9 inches long. And I'm going to resaw it and split it in two and match the grain. So here's the piece I'm going to use. It's pretty dark, but it's got quite a bit of fleck in the grain. And got to be careful with this, because on the other side there's a knot there. And I don't know how far it's going to go through, because I have to, I'm going to resaw it right along the middle here. So I'm going to cut 18 inches out of this board in here, and then I'll take it over to the bandsaw and just resaw it right down the middle. Then I'll take it over to the planer, and we'll flatten it out and get two sides the same, and then we'll go ahead and glue it up like this one. Now, so I'm waiting for the glue to dry on that, and I've got two more that are ready to go here. So while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and cut the next piece, and then I'll glue up this piece here. Okay, here's the board I selected. It's cut to about 19 inches in length, so I'll cut it in half probably after I glue it up. And so right now I'm going to resaw it. I'm going to cut the board right down the middle. So this is an old Delta bandsaw that I bought a couple years ago, and tuned it up, put nice new urethane rubbers in here for the wheels, and adjusted everything. So it cuts pretty good now. Really, I don't know how I lived so long without a bandsaw. Just a fabulous piece of gear. So I'll go ahead and do that cut, and then we'll start planing. Okay, here's the board sawn. So that's kind of how it works. They're automatically grain matched when you resaw it like that. So I'll now take them to the planer and plane them down and get rid of the saw marks. I don't know if you can see them here, but it needs to be matched to the other thickness that I have. So I'll go ahead and plane them down and get them to the correct size. Okay, this is the board that I glued up, and I think it looks pretty cool. Normally I don't like the lighter sapwood in there like this here, but I think this looks pretty good. So anyway, what I'm going to do is measure it to get the right thickness so I can match it on my planer. So let's see what we got here. Oops, turn it on. Okay, .330, about 1/3 of an inch. Okay. Okay, there is the book match set there, plane to thickness. So I just noticed I did not have a really good edge in the middle, so I'm going to use the jointer for that. And to do that, I'm going to joint one this way with the back facing the fence, and the other I'll do this way with the face facing the fence. And the reason for that, if the jointer is slightly off, if the angle is, I'm really exaggerating, but if it's not exact, this way, no matter what, it will be perfectly flat. So not that big a deal, but that's just a good practice to do it that way. So I'll go ahead and clean that edge up, and then we'll glue it up. Okay, here's the glue up. Put glue on one edge, and it matches up nicely on the end. The center is a little bit off, so I'm going to put one more clamp in the center. Trying to get that to match up. Oops. Let's turn clamp. Okay. Pretty good. Okay, now I'll just wipe the glue off and we're good to go. Okay, I failed to mention that this is all quarter sawn white oak. It's got these nice rays, the flecks they call them. And I'm probably going to tint it and use ammonia fumes to darken it. It's an old technique that was used quite often in the old days of Gustav Stickley. But I want to apologize for the condition of my shop. It's a little messy, but like I said, this was kind of a spur of the moment thing to try to document what I'm doing here. I have grandkids, so they like to come in and play with the sawdust. But going back to the wood, the original wood, I bought rough sawn, and oh my God, I spent hours with the planer. And I've got 3 trash cans full of chips here. Well, this one's not full yet. And I've already dumped 1.5 in the compost pile in the front. So I just decided that's just not worth it. That's the last time I'm going to do that. And it's just much easier to buy the wood already surfaced. Pay a little bit more, but I think it's actually in the long run more economical, certainly a time saving, because that was quite a job hauling these big, heavy oak boards like that one, and moving them around to plane them. And the other problem is when you're buying rough sawn, sometimes it's hard to see the grain, and boy, I wasted my money on this board. It's just not a very good board, and just really didn't notice its defects. Should have looked a little closer. But again, that's the other disadvantage of buying rough sawn. So tomorrow I'm going to clean up a little bit here and look a little nicer, and we'll continue.